Welcome back students. My name is Brindra Kumar and today in this video I'll cover your poem and the poem name is A Tiger in the Zoo, and I hope all of you are very fine today. And my dear friends, this poem is written by Leslie Norris. So my dear friends, you must watch this video till the end so that you can understand it very good. So my dear friends, let's move on into the next phase so that we can understand it very good. So my dear friends, here is the first phase of this video. Welcome back students, and this is our first phase of this poem, and the poem name is A Tiger in the Zoo, as you know very well, and that is written by Leslie Norris. And my dear friends, as you know very well, there is one main character in this poem, and that one is your tiger. And my dear friends, as you know, there are five stanzas in this poem, and we will also cover the figure of speech, and that is the very important to all the students. In your figure of speech we will study rhymes, personification, alliterations, etc. So my dear friends, these are the importance to all the students. So my dear friends, you must watch this video carefully so that you can understand it very good. So my dear friends, as you know very well, this is your third poem of your first flat book, and that's a very interesting topics. So my dear friends, let's move on into the first phase of your uh, of your of your poem. So here is your page. Welcome back students. So here is a short intro about this chapter. So let's start it. This poem contrast is a tiger in the zoo with a tiger in its natural habitat. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. So my dear friends, let's start it. Welcome back students. So this is your first stanza of this poem. So let's read it. He stalks in his vivid straps the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quilt in his quilt range. So my dear friends, in this stanza the poet describes the appearance of the tiger in the zoo and its daily movement. He says that the tiger moves up and down of his cage. The straps on its body can be distinguished even seen from far as they are darker in color than the rest of its coat. The tiger walks quickly without making a sound because of his smooth velvet pits. The tiger is able to walk only few steps because of the length of its cage. It covered that distance in a few more steps. Only the tiger is full of anger. So my dear friends, here is also your meaning of what. So you must read this all things, and rhymes and personification and oxymoron is also written here, so you must read this one. So my dear friends, let's move on into the next stanza. Welcome back. This is your second stanza, so let's read it. We should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. So, my dear friends, in the stanza, the poet is filled with pity while looking at the imprisoned tiger. The poet imagining and another life for the tiger other than the zoo. He says that the poor tiger should have been in his natural habitat, that is, in the wild forest. He says that under normal conditions, this tiger would have been moving in the darkness, not in the clear daylight. It would have been lying in the shadow trees or hiding itself behind long grass so that its prey will not be able to detect its movement. In this way, the tiger would have been moved near the water hole where all animals of the forest come to drink on afternoon. So, my dear friends, this is your short summary related to your second stanza. So, my dear friends, let's move on into the next page of this poem. Welcome guys once again. So let's read the third stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. So my dear friends, in the stanza, the poet says that even though he would prefer the tiger to live in the wild, it is not as if it would lose all touch with human civilization. He imagines what the tiger will do in case he failed to find any prey in his natural habitat. He says that the tiger would be growing at the edge of jungle near some village. He would be showing his white fangs and claw while moving here and there with the intention of scaring. So, my dear friends, here is also your spelling words which are given its meaning, and figure of a speech is also here. So, you must read this one. So, my dear friends, let's move on. Welcome back, students. So this is your fourth stanza of this poem. So let's read it. But he has locked in a concrete shell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. My dear friends, in this stanza, the poet stop imagine the tiger's alternate life and return to its real one. The poet sees the tiger caged in a small concrete shell in the zoo, like prison in the jail. In spite of in spite of all his strength, it now lies imprisoned behind the bars. The tiger pays no attention to the visitor who comes to see him. He only used to walk here and there without any disturbance in the form of human intervention. So, my dear friends, this is your fourth. Some this is your short summary of your fourth stanza. So, you must read the figure of speech. So, my dear friends, let's move on into the next stanza. Welcome back, students. So this is your last stanza of this poem. So let's read it. He hears the last wells at night, the patrolling cars, and stare with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. My dear friends, in this last stanza, the poet described about the daily routine of the tiger. The tiger does not rest during the day because of the visitors. Even at night, it says it stay away till the every last words of the zookeeper. Looking up and going home can be heard. After that zoo, it does not go to sleep. All night it remains disturbed due to the noise of patrolling cars. They keeps staring at the keeps staring at the brilliant star with his brilliant eyes. Perhaps he is asking heaven why he has been imprisoned there. So my dear friends, thank you for watching and see you again in the next video. Till then, have a fun. Bye bye.